Untitled Generation 1 set review on set number 8924, Maxilos and Spinax. This set was released back in 2007 and retailed for $30 and comes with 256 pieces. Personally, I believe this is my favorite Bionicle Titan set. Not my favorite set, but it's one of them. It's up there. To begin, I just want to let you guys know how this review is going to go. First, we're going to take a look at Spinax and then Maxilos, and then I'm going to bring it back together by the end of this review to give my overall thoughts. So let's get right into it. So here we have Maxilos. This is Maxilos's dog slash pet of a sense. And this guy, as far as I remember from the story, that if he has the scent of someone, you can pretty much track him down across the whole entire Matoran universe, if I'm correct. So that's pretty cool. I like Maxilos. Always a different kind of character other than Jowler, with that little crab dude with holding around the Kodak blast. We don't really have any kind of character in Bionicle carrying around some kind of creature, as far as I remember, unless it was Takua with the crab, or I forgot the crab's name. But I like this guy. So we're going over Poseability. So he has the same kind of Poseability with all four of his legs. He has 360 degrees and his feet. You move his legs forward and back and tilt them side to side. You move the entire leg 360 degrees. And that's pretty much it for all four legs. They have the same range of Poseability. His head, you can move side to side and up and down. Pretty much 360 degrees. Yeah, you kind of can, but it looks gross at some positions. We also have this chain, which Maxilos uses to, either want to hold back or keep, hold on to Spinax. And with Spinax, you can move his jaw down. We have him, screaming or growling, or, it's pretty cool. But he has a really interesting build with using spike pieces on his back, which is really cool. And they got these the Vaki kind of sword piece using for a tail, so that's pretty cool. But other than that, he doesn't really have any kind of feature Poseability, but he has a nice and simple build. I always like the head too, where it has the same pretty much thing as the Baraki heads, with this putting the two red eyes in. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Spinax. Now let's take a look at the main man, Maxilos. So this is it. This is Maxilos, the big man himself, who Makuta Pterodax took over the body of in 2007 for continuing his evil plans. And this guy was just, I guess he was like a guard in the pit, in the prison, where the Hydraxon would catch the runners and put them in jail. And I guess this guy was just there, the guard. So until Makuta Pterodax go over and talk to Matoro. You guys, if you know the story, then I don't need to explain any more of it. But this guy is amazing. I love him. And just before you guys point out any inaccuracies, because this guy does have quite a few, as far as I remember. When I got him, he did not come with all the right or correct parts, and came with some he didn't even have. He was missing some. Just to point out, on his knees, right, or the thighs right here. What's the knees? No, his thighs right here. That's a major one. I'm trying to remember. Also, right here on his giant sword thing, which you can actually take off, by the way. Let's go over this real quick before we take a look at him. And he does have a hard time standing up, as I had to put friction adders on the hit by his legs, so it works much better. I recommend doing that if you haven't, so that you don't crack the old pieces. But he has this giant sword, which I like. It has a little tube here. It's pretty cool. And you got these trans red pieces, which I always like. I think they were used in Lego Racers also during the time, but there was supposed to be another one right here, but I did not come with one. And then, yeah, you got these two sword pieces, which I believe were new at the time, just put together, and I like that. And, yeah, so that's Maxilos' sword. We'll put out the side. He puts on his hand with a red axle and uses a Mata hand. But the claw pieces that are used also by Spinax on his feet. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll move that to the side. So, for Maxilos' Poseability, which I believe he's pretty much popular for, he has shoulder articulation, that he can raise his shoulders really high up, which get weird, but it's amazing. Not like this, but they kind of if you want to have him like a buff guy 42 dude, or you want to have his shoulders real low like that. Well, actually, I don't recommend doing it. It looks weird, but at least at this range, it looks really cool. And he's really tall too, so it's kind of hard to get him the shot like this, but he's a great figure. That's another pro about him, I would say, about is the Poseability. That's one of my favorite parts of him, and I love the build for this figure too. I love the color scheme with the red, partly gunmetal gray, and yeah, some regular gray too. You see the legs are really loose, but to go over the Poseability, he only moves forward and back. He kind of his knees go down really low too, which is great, but he doesn't really have any kind of 360 degrees position with his feet, but his feet are really cool and really built, but I like it because he uses two Mata feet or Nuva feet together, and on the same thing inside. And also he just has some Vaki pieces used around, so you can move his knees forward. He can kind of sit down too, which I like. You can move his legs 360 degrees. Can't really move his knees, like I said forward, but it's different a little bit with his hands. His hands are used forward with the claws, so that's around, if you move it forward 360 degrees, you move his arms, lower arms forward and back, and you can move his shoulders up and down. Kind of restricted with the Vizon mask or the half mask of light, which I love how they use a recolor for this piece, and then they put it on here even with the Borakal shield, and that was, I think, for Kalma's feet. And then Gamel Gray, which I like, and that's the only part we get out of that, I think. And then also the Mari Matoran for using the back of that too. Well, I like the back of it too. It's kind of pretty much covered, which I was worried about when I first saw this. I don't remember it being covered up too much, and then now having it again or seeing reviews of it makes sense. Also, the poseability he has with his neck, which is great. So he doesn't have like a kind of stumpy neck. He just has like a really long one, but it's actually covered up by the Kalma foot piece. So that's pretty cool. And you can move his head side to side if you take up the tube, which goes around his back, like I said. You can move his head pretty much 360 degrees. I love the mask too. Sorry if it's out of shot at some points too. It's really hard to keep in track of that. Yeah, so his mask is really cool. He has the blue kind of Baraki eyes, that I just call them that are used on the side here. He has the trans orange red stocky. Is just like the regular Metru head. So that's pretty cool. Put the tube back in. And he has the Kordak blaster mounted on his shoulder, kind of like a little cannon gun, like War Machine from the Marvel comics or films. That's pretty cool. And I'm trying to think what else. I guess I'll demonstrate the Kordak blaster. Basically what you do is that you have your your front fingers right here, and use your thumb in the back, and you push this forward, and the Kordak blaster shoot. I don't know if he came with any extra ones. I think there's probably one that's supposed to go like right here, like that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for Maxilos. I think I'll just put him back to right next with Spinax. Actually, there's one more thing I need to show, how Maxilos holds the chain. There's a blue and there's a blue pin and axle. Blue, yeah, wait, I'm trying to say that correctly. It's a pin and axle, yeah, blue and pin axle that goes on his hand, and he's put the chain at the end of it right there, and he walks around with Maxilos while he sniffs out a victim or any other person that Maxilos is trying to find in the Matoran universe, or if he's with Matoro, which I will get right now. There we go. So yeah, that's a good little recreation of the 2007 story right there, I guess. I don't know. So that's pretty much it for Maxilos. Now let's finish up this review while I give my final thoughts. So Bablamo, that's pretty much it for this set. If you guys enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. It's your decision. I just want to say, overall, I love this set. Very nostalgic to me, as any other Bionicle set is. But this guy, I absolutely love. He's my favorite tie-in set, I have to say. Not my favorite Bionicle set, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to review that. Probably the... I was thinking, yeah, Axelar T9 is probably my favorite Bionicle set because it's a vehicle set. It's amazing. But this guy is up there on my top 10 Bionicle set list. And if you ever had the chance to get him at a decent price, I believe he's usually retail for $60 on Bricklink or something else. I highly recommend getting him if you can get all the parts, which could be hard sometimes. I mean, I pretty much got every part with him, luckily enough, but I had to replace some parts like I said on the thighs earlier. But overall, it's a great set. Spinax is great. Maxilos is great. Great posable figure. Great to have a figure on a shelf or display. I love the figure so much. I highly recommend if you have the chance to get the figure, get him. It's great. That's pretty much it for this review. Join me next week when I go over and I review Karzhani. Till then, I'm Tokoto, and I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.